All right, how about this? We get a big stick, we sharpen the tip, and we shove it in the Cyclops' eye. And then we just sneak out of the cave disguised as shape. Hi, it's Tim here. I'm your average dungeon master and your amateur bar master. Today I'm making a drink that I call the Cyclops of War. This drink is a variation on the Man of War, which is named after a famous racehorse. It's made with bourbon, vermouth, orange liqueur, and lemon juice. And in Dungeons & Dragons, Cyclopses are a solitary creature that keeps a herd of livestock with them, and they live in a cave with it and protect it. So this guy here, my little Cyclops, has a herd of horses that he keeps around, and so I'm naming this drink the Cyclops of War after him. So it is a bourbon cocktail, and I am using a fat-washed bourbon. Sounds disgusting. This is a technique for infusing flavor into spirits. You can do it with any spirit and any fat. This is bacon fat. I took 12 ounces of bourbon and an ounce of bacon fat, and I mixed them together, shook them. The bacon fat was hot at the time, and leave it for about an hour. And then you can just throw that in the freezer. The fat solidifies on top, and then once it does, you poke a hole in the fat and you pour out the bourbon, strain it in a fine strainer like a nut milk bag, and then you can use the bacon fat for whatever you would use bacon fat for, and it's got a nice bourbon flavor, but the bourbon also has a wonderful bacon flavor. So I'm using an ounce and a half of my bourbon fat wash with bacon. As you can see, I've been using it quite a lot because it's amazing, and I'm gonna have to make some more very soon. Other fats that you could use to wash a spirit with, or anything that has an oil, you can do it with olive oil, you can do it with coconut oil. Brown butter is an amazing one. Brown butter goes really well with rum. Coconut oil goes really well with rum as well. Anything like that you can do a fat wash on a spirit with, and it only takes a couple hours. It's really not that hard. It's not hard at all to do, and it makes for an amazing spirit. I'm using 3/4 of an ounce of a sweet red vermouth. This is Dessalines. I don't know. It's a red sweet vermouth. I'm going to start using vermouth in a few recipes here, so I got a couple bottles to experiment with. If you're going to get a bottle of vermouth to make this drink, then I'm going to give you a couple more recipes to use that vermouth in. Vermouth is not shelf stable once it's open. It's like wine. It is wine. It's a fortified wine, so you need to keep it in the fridge after you open it, and you need to use it within a couple weeks to a month. I've also given you 3 or 4 recipes with blackberry liqueur, and I'm going to use it once again in this drink, and this is the last drink I'm going to use it for a while, because if you get a bottle of something that you don't typically use, I want you to be able to find a recipe that you like and use it, and not just let it sit on your shelf. I don't want to take up a bunch of space in my kitchen with a bunch of different spirits, and I don't want you to have to either. This is a 1/2 ounce of blackberry liqueur. The liqueur in the drink is balanced out with lemon juice, the tartness of the lemon juice. I'm only using a 1/4 ounce of lemon juice here though. I've tried it with different amounts, and I like the 1/4 ounce of lemon juice because the lemon tends to take over some of the flavors of the whiskey, the bourbon, and I like to get that bacon flavor and the bourbon in my drink more so than the lemon. All right, now I need ice in my shaker, so I'm gonna add a whole cube and a cracked cube. My cup was in the freezer. If you have space in a freezer, it's nice to be able to do that. Keep your glasses cold. Straining this up into a coupe glass, and it's blood red, like the blood of this red dragon that my Cyclops killed protecting his horses. And then I'm gonna garnish it with a piece of bacon, a warm piece of bacon over top of my bacon infused bourbon and my Cyclops of War drink. Let's taste it. I mean, it's bacon. How can you go wrong with bacon? The bacon bourbon is delicious. I don't know if I'm ever gonna have regular bourbon again. Now, it doesn't last forever. You do need to keep it refrigerated, and you do need to use it in a couple weeks probably. The sun's going down earlier, it's colder. It's a great drink for fall. Bacon. Chew and bacon. Sometimes I want to use bacon like dip or chew. Just keep it in your mouth. So ancient Greeks really believed that Cyclopses were real. That's where we get them in our modern games and mythology. Ancient Greeks uncovered fossils of prehistoric elephants, like dwarf elephants. And if you've ever seen the skull of an elephant, it's got a huge hole where the nasal cavity is. And you could see when you look at that why they would think that that might be an eye socket for some ancient creature with one eye, one huge central eye.
Oh, don't worry, horsey. I'll protect you from the dragons. Don't worry. Dragon will hurt you no more. I'll protect you.